Hello friends, welcome to .NETAwesome.com. In one of my previous article, I have shown you how to implement custom forms authentication in ASP.NET MVC4 application. Today, I am going to show you how to secure ASP.NET Web API using token based authentication. ASP.NET Web API is a framework that makes it easy to build HTTP services that reach a broad range of clients, including browsers, mobile devices, and traditional desktop applications. Nowadays, Web API adoption is increasing at a rapid pace, so it's very essential to implement security for all type of client application trying to access data from Web API services. Nowadays, the most preferred approach to secure server resources by authenticating users in Web API is to use signed token, which contains enough data to identify a particular user. This is called token based approach. Token based approach is the most preferred as because of this following reason. It's loosely coupling. The client application is not tied to a particular authentication schema. The token is generated, validated, and perform the authentication by the server. Second is mobile friendly. In native platform like iOS, Android, Windows 8, etc., handling cookies are not an easy task. Token based approach simplifies this a lot. Now the question is how token based authentication actually works. In the token based approach, client application first send a request to authentication server endpoint with appropriate credential. Now if the username and password is found correct, then the authentication server send a token to client as a response. This token contains enough data to identify a particular user and an expiry time. The client application then use the token to access the restricted resources in next request till the token is valid. Okay, let's start implementing token based authentication in Web API. First of all, we will create an empty project. So first please open your Visual Studio. Here I am using Visual Studio 2013. Okay, for create and project, go to file menu, then click new and then click on project. You can see here dialog window appear. From here I will select ASP.NET Web application under web. Then here enter your application name, then select your project location, is it okay, and then click on OK button. It will brings up a new dialog window for select template. Here I will select empty template. So select empty template and then I will add MVC and Web API core references. So I check these two and then click on OK button. Our application is created. You can see here in the Solution Explorer our application is created. Now for implement token based authentication in Web API, we need to install some resources from NuGet packages into our application. So go to your reference folder from Solution Explorer, right click on the references, manage NuGet packages. From here I'll search for Owen. I'll install this one, microsoft.win.host.system wave. So I need this one. You can see here the required dependencies is also installed with this. You can see here the Win, System, Wave and Microsoft.Win installed. I need to install this also, Microsoft.Win.security.auth. So click on install button. It will also install required dependencies for this. You can see here this is installed Microsoft.Win.security, and one more thing I need to install this one. This is required for cross origin resource sharing. It's done. So all the required resources we have installed in our project. Now we will add a class in our application for validate the credential for users and generate token. For adding the class, go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your project name, then go to add and then click new item. From here I'll select class, enter your class name, my authorization server provider, and then click on add button. So you can see here our class is created. My class name is my authorization server provider. Here I will inherit one class or authorization server provider. In this class I will override two methods from author authorization server provider class. One is validate client authentication and second one is grant resource owner credential. So public override validate client authentication. I don't need this one. Okay, I will change this to async, and here I will do one single line context dot validated. This single line means that I have validated the client. You can see here I have override validate client authentication method from author authorization server provider. This method is used for validate client application. For the sake of simplicity, we will deep dive on validate client authentication method later. I have just written one line here now is context dot validated. This line is means I have validated the client. So the second method is grant resource owner credential. We will override. So public override grant resource owner credential, this one. This I'll make it async. Okay. In this method, we will validate the credential of users, and if we found valid credential, we will generate the signed token, using which user can access authorized resources of server. So first of all, I will declare a variable identity is equal to new claims scheme identity context dot options dot authentication type, and then we will validate the client credential here. So if context dot username equals to admin and context password equals to admin, if it is, then I will add some claims. Identity dot add claim types dot role admin new claim. We can add in this way as well. Admin, or one more I will add for showing the full name. Claim types dot name value will be so if username and password is admin, then this will happen. One more I will create for now for test context dot username context dot password equals to user, then I will do the same thing. I'm doing this just for showing you at the testing time everything is perfect. Otherwise I will return error, so set error return. I need to add this one, sorry, context dot validated identity. I need to add this line to here also. You can see here for now I'm using static data for validate user here for make the application simple. Later part of this series, I will validate user from database when we will implement client application in AngularJS for token based authentication. This is done. Now we will add win startup class where we will configure the author authorization server. For adding win startup class, go to your solution explorer, right click on your project name, go to add, then add item. From here search for win startup class, select this one. I'll rename it startup.cs and then click on add button. Our win startup class is created. Now we will configure author authorization server here. Here first of all I will enable cross origin. For enabling cross origin request, I need to add this line app dot use cross use Microsoft dot win dot cross options dot allow all. So this line is for enabling cross origin requests. Now we will configure the author authorization server here. First of all, I will get a reference of my provider is equal to new my authorization server provider, this one, and then we will define authorization server options. So authorization server PTIONS options. Is equal to new authorization option. As this is a demo project, so I need to allow and secure HTTP. In the live version we should make it HTTPS version for secured. Now the token endpoint path, I'll give this token, sorry, it should be new path string, this one. This is the path from where user will get the token after providing the valid credential. Now I need to access token expiry time span to provide the time period the access token remains valid after it was generated. So it's from time span dot from days 1, I make it for 1 day valid after generate to define the provider. So here it will be my provider. This is authorization server options. Then I need to tell the application to use authorization server, and this one more line we need to add. Maybe add token name options, and finally we need to register web API config, HTTP configuration config dot register config. So this is done. Now we need to add a class for override authorized attribute. When building an HTTP REST API, you should use appropriate HTTP response codes to indicate the status of a response. I always use 401 and 403 status code for get authentication and authorization status. 401 means unauthenticated. It indicates that the request has not been applied because it lacks valid authentication credential for the target resource. And 403 forbidden, when the user is authenticated but it's not authorized to perform the requested operation on the given response, we should use 403 to identify that request is forbidden. Unfortunately, the Web API MVC Web API authorized attribute does not behave that way. It always emits 401 in both case for authenticate user or authorized user. So here in our Web API application, I am going to add a class for override this behavior, where we will return 403 when the user is authenticated but not authorized to perform the requested operation. For adding the class, just go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your project name, then go add, and you can choose class from here also, or from here also add new item. So here I will rename it authorized attribute, and then click on add button. So it's added. Now I will inherit authorized attribute system dot web dot http dot authorized attribute. Here I will override handle unauthorized request. So public override handle unauthorized request. What we will do here, if the request is authenticated but not authorized, then we will return forbidden from here. So if http context dot current dot user dot identity dot is authenticated, so what I am check is not authenticated, it should be that one. Otherwise we will override the action, we will override the response. It should be new HTTP message, status code should be forbidden. Okay, so it's done. Now we need to add Web API controller, where we will add some action so we can check the token authentication is working fine or not. So for adding Web API controller in our application, go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your controllers folder, then go add and then click on controller. From here we will select Web API 2 controller. I will select empty and then click on add button. Here I will provide my controller name. In my case it's data controller. Then click on add button. So you can see our Web API controller is created. Now I will add an action here for getting data from server for anonymous user first. So it should be allow anonymous, http get root API slash data slash for all, means for all user, return. Okay, now server time is time dot now dot to string. It's just a simple action, just I'm returning current date time of the server, and this action should be accessible for all type of user, don't need to authenticate and authorization here. Now I will add one more action here, this action for authenticated user. So here I will first write authorize attribute, because this will check if the request is authorized, then this section will book, and if not then it will return 401. So get public result for authorized user. We authenticate. So dot identity return. Okay, So what I have done here, this action is for only authorized user. If the user is authorized, then this action will return the authorized person name, hello authorized person name. Okay, so I'm going to add one more action here for authorized user. Only admin user can execute that action. So I'm going to add authorize with roles, and this role I'll check from here because I have done static. So role admin and user. If admin user is logged in, then this admin user can access this action. So it should be admin. Get authorized user. So public action result get admin. Or identity equal to identity user dot identity equal to return. Okay, okay. So what I have done here in this action, this action only allowed for the admin user, and if it is admin user, then it will return hello and then admin user name and with the role. Okay, so we almost done. We need to just run this application to check everything is working fine or not. Okay, so let's run our application. Actually we need one more thing here for test. Definitely it will get this 1404 because we don't have any default controller added here first. So for testing we need to use postman, Google Chrome extension first. Our web API configuration is ready. Now we will test our application with Postman, and then in the next part of this series we will create a AngularJS project, a client application for consume our web API services with token based authentication. So for test our application in this stage, we need to use Postman. Postman is a extension of Google Chrome, which is used as a client application to test the request and response between web service and client. So first of all, I need to run our application or check everything is working fine or not, but it will get 404 error because we don't have the default controller now, and it's looking for home controller. So what I will do, I will download Postman extension from Google Chrome. So you can download from Google Web Store, Chrome Web Store. Go to there, just click on add to Chrome button, so it will add. It will take a little time because it's downloading now. You can see here it's added. Now click on that, so open. Okay, so first of all what we will do, we will try to access our action, which is for all type of user, for anonymous user before login. So let's go back to our application. This is the root for access anonymous action. So we need to paste here. Sorry, before this we need to add our application URL. So this is our application URL. Then it's a get method, click send. Yes, you can see here we get response from server. The server time is this one. Okay, because this is for anonymous user, but if we try to access this action now for authenticate user, then it will show a message authorization has been denied, and you can see here the status code is 401 unauthorized. And in case if we want to access this method, so we should get 403. So it also returning 401 on unauthorized. Let us check once what we have done mistake. You can see here it's also returning 401 because the request is not authorized and authenticated now. Okay, so let's try to log in to get the authorization token, and for this we need to go here. Sorry, this is our URL for get the token. So what I will do, I'll just remove this one. This should be our post action, and if we send here, then we will get error message because we need to pass username, password and grant type. So from here what I will do, I will pass username. First I will log in as a user, so we can check everything is fine or not. So this is user, user type user, user, and password is also user. So let's check with that one, user, password, user, and also I need to pass one more parameter here, grant type. It should be password. So now if I click on send button, you can see here I get access token, token type, and expiry in. So now if I want to execute the method, just copy here the access token. We need to pass this access token for access restricted resources from server. So with this token now we can access this method, the for authenticate, because it is for any authorized user, and we cannot access this one for admin user because I have generated this token for the user type user. So let's check it's working on the same way or not. So now if I try to access this one, authorize, if I send, then it will get we will get this message because of we have not added the authorized parameters. So for authorized parameter we need to first we need to write varchar, then we have to paste this token here. Now if I try to send this button, sorry, it should be authenticated. For authorized user I will get 403 because it's not the admin user. So this action cannot be accessible with this token because this is only for the admin type of user. That's the reason I'm getting 403 forbidden. That means I'm authenticated but it's not authorized admin user. So if I try to access this, just copy this one first and then I try to access the authenticate user, means this action which is allowed for any logged in user. With that header should be authorized, then I will get response. So it's showing hello Suresh Shah. Suresh Shah means this user. So it this for that this user type user we can access this method because this is allowed for all authorized user. And now if we want to access this method, so we need to first log in as a admin user, and we need to get back the token from server, and then we need to access this method with the token getting from the server. So what we will do, I will do again, I will generate token but this time with the admin user, and click on send button. You can see I'm getting one more token and this token is for admin role user. Now if I try to access the authorize method, this one, this authorize method with this token I've just got, varchar and then token. Now if I click here, then I will get this hello Saurabh Mandal and role is admin, means this is now working fine. Let's check. Yes, You can see here the breakpoint. So this method is now working because I have logged in as admin user. So everything is working fine. Now in the next project, in the next part of this series, we will see how we can use this token based authentication in our AngularJS application. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.